cancel, or do you guys want to run it? Why can't you be here? Because I offered to sub Bible for Mr. Wilmot. Cancel that.
You're gonna have to let that go.
All right, I'll call him.
Gotta be a guy on a looper. He's just putting together a loop. That's cool.
Those cats?
Yeah, they're dressed up like animals.
Hey, you, what you doing over there?
There's some inappropriate stuff. I won't put this up this week.
I can see what's on your mind is on mine too. Hey, you, what you doing over there? I can see what's on your mind is on mine too. Staying out late, gonna get drunk. Take me to the Radcliffe's Hollow, sip me up a drink. Swing your hips like a cowgirl. Oh, put them shoes on.
And it's St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm. And you got your festive green on.
I do. I have festive green on.
I like that.
It's not Kelly green, but
That's
it's
nice.
green just the same.
Yeah. And you have a green hat on, Brandon. Was that planned for St. Patty's Day?
It was not.
I don't.
You're gonna have to put that microphone in front of you.
I could care less about St. Patrick's Day. So, what's been going on, gentlemen? Anything good?
Shouldn't we know what St. Patrick contributed to all times in the Catholic Church?
I don't think he did.
Oh, they all did something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like the Valentines, remember I shared? Yeah. And he was actually martyred.
Do you want me to look up St. Patrick?
Yeah, let's see what St. Patrick is. He like a doctor? He's got to be something with like the movie Braveheart, where he gets his guts tore out because he was all about the Scotsman or
Right.
the Irish.
So he was a British-born bishop and missionary who is credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland and is the patron saint of Ireland. He is associated with the shamrock, a cross, and a harp.
Oh,
And that'd probably be the Celtic cross, like with those little round, like...
the round circles around the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which, listen, they were pretty hardcore pagans, so they probably murdered the first few
Oh, I would think.
Jehovah's Witnesses that went up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the History Channel says similar stuff, I guess, about him, that he was a patron saint of Ireland. Many of the stories traditionally associated with St. Patrick, including the famous account of his banishing all the snakes from Ireland, are false, the products of hundreds of years of exaggerated storytelling.
Who would get that story going?
I don't know.
Do you want to know a cool rumor to get going? He banished all the snakes from Ireland.
Yeah. And that means Satan's no longer in Ireland.
No more Satan in Ireland.
Yeah. So I wonder, though, where the whole leprechaun,
Leprechaun.
where that came from.
And a pot of gold.
Yeah. We could ask Alistair Begg.
He's
Now I'm switching.
Scottish?
Now I'm switching into Amish. See, I cannot do accents.
You can't hold one down.
I can't. No, I can't. It's not true.
Now you got me. Yeah.
At the age of 16, though, Patrick was taken prisoner by a group of Irish raiders who were attacking his family's estate. They transported him to Ireland, where he spent 6. You can't say Ireland without saying Ireland. Where he spent 6 years in captivity. There is some dispute over where this captivity took place, although many believe he was taken to live in Mount Slemish in County Antrim. It is more likely that he was held in County Mayo near Kahala. Okay, I have no idea where those places are, but he did work as a shepherd outdoors and away from people during his time alone. He was afraid. He turned to his religion. I don't know who got that rumor started that he was afraid.
I was afraid.
Yeah, I mean, how do you believe that he was afraid, but you don't believe that he banished snakes?
Well, you must worship Christ, but I'm scared.
So he became a devout Christian because he was afraid, it appears.
Oh, well.
Says he turned to his religion for solace. So because he was afraid, he became a Christian. It's also believed that Patrick first began to dream of converting the Irish people to Christianity during his captivity.
Did he like whiskey?
Says here, just green beer.
He just drank green beer.
Just green beer.
Did he wear beads?
Doesn't say anything about beads.
A big tall green hat.
Doesn't say anything about a hat. Although it does show him with a picture of the fish hat like the Catholics wear.
Oh, Pisces.
Pisces.
Yeah.
So he is worshiping a cult, the fish cult, whatever that is.
Well, that is the symbol of Christ.
Yeah.
His era.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
nice
why
to
the
know.
Catholics wear that.
That's nice. So the shamrock, which was also called the Simroy by the Celts, was
also a delicious shake at McDonald's,
That's
from what I hear.
I've heard. Was a sacred plant in ancient Ireland because it symbolized the rebirth of spring. And by the 17th century, the shamrock had become a symbol of emerging Irish nationalism. And so that's where that great thing. All right, enough about the Irish.
Irish.
The luck of the Irish.
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day nonetheless.
Yes. So it is March 17th. This is Friday. This is UnEducated. If you have not subscribed to our platform yet, please
You're probably
subscribe.
not gonna.
Yeah, you probably won't. Although we do have 115 now.
We're up to 115? I mean, we're climbing by decimals worth of people a week.
Yeah. You figure if we get one new subscriber every month, by the time we're dead,
Yeah.
we should have at least
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hundreds.
Couple
maybe.
hundred.
Couple hundred.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Guess who comes back on March 20th? Speaking of successful podcasters.
Yeah, Steven
Crowder.
Steven Crowder.
He'll be on Rumble.
Okay, good.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. I've missed him.
He got kicked off YouTube.
Well, so he lived at the Blaze, and I'm not sure what happened there. Because Glenn Beck hasn't spoke any ill of him, and he really hasn't spoke ill of the Blaze.
But him and Shapiro had words because when he went and interviewed for a position.
I think this is that thing where he was just going to move over there, and I don't think he had anything bad at the Blaze, but I think he thought there'd be a lot of good opportunity over there. And then when it's that thing where you send over the contract and you're like, whoa, this is not what I thought.
Yeah. Because he was going to be held liable for a lot of stuff, according to him. And
There became a battle of quote-unquote principles.
Yeah.
All
right.
But either way, he's going to be on Rumble.
Right.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I have missed having his show on
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson's still over on.
Daily Wire.
Daily Wire.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot of biblical studies now with the.
I tried. I
Jewish
signed
guy.
up for that. I tried to do Exodus.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
It's
Really dry.
and it's mostly metaphorical stuff. Like he's taking it and he's making it all metaphorical so that he can really apply it anywhere he wants in life.
I don't really have a problem with that because I usually fall asleep. So
Well, if you stay awake, you should have a problem with it because there is metaphor in there, but you can't just take metaphor and apply it every which way you want.
how far did you make
There's
it?
still context. I just watched one. That's it.
Did you? Was it
Thought you had
free?
to pay for it.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I paid for it because I had really intended on sticking in.
I never paid for
I
it.
couldn't. Well, I mean, I know.
I find ways.
And then you Well, you either have to pirate it or you don't get the content.
No, I don't. I didn't pirate it, but somehow I find stuff. That's
I
just
just
weird.
find things. Well, but you never find the whole series.
I know.
Like,
But I find enough. Like sometimes it's kind of like if you read one Rick Warren book, you've read them all, or one Max Lucado book.
Sure.
You've read them all.
Nebster.
So. That coffee is strong, dude.
in black.
It's black. And it's strong.
Is that how you like your women?
No.
Blake.
I do like the fact that April is strong. She can hold her own. She can't do a push up, but when it comes to like moving stuff, when it comes to moving things, and I'll come home and the entire living room is rearranged, like that big couch. She won't move that by herself.
Yeah,
somehow.
but they're just sliding around on the floor.
I know, but
All the scratch marks.
she finds a way.
When'd she ever rearrange that?
She hasn't recently, but I'm just saying, like if she gets the gumption, or I'll go upstairs in big cabinets or like our dressers and stuff in the
Be
bed,
moved around.
be all moved around. And she did it. I'm like, dear, when you're done with that, take the laundry down and get that done too.
It's
Split the wood
it's a
out
plot to. It's a plot to kill you. Yeah, because if you move furniture in your room, you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't remember it,
Yeah.
you're gonna stub your toe, holler, waddle out into the little entryway thing, and then fall down the stairs to your death.
And that's probably not funny if it really happens, although it could be funny, depending on how the fall would happen. I'm telling you, this is one of the things. I'm 50 years old now, and this is one of the things that people will never probably get about me. But when bad things happen, there's always some kind of humor in it.
Right.
And I find it somehow.
Right.
And not that
the way to be.
Not that I want to be not compassionate, but there's usually something funny when somebody does something.
I know.
And I don't know. Maybe that's just my. I don't know. Maybe that's my low T.
It shows your caveman brain.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Your idiocracy. In Idiocracy, you be the guy watching Ouch My Balls.
Probably.
Quiet. Ouch My Balls is on.
And that's a show, right?
Huh?
Is that a real show?
No, it was on Idiocracy.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, it's like those in Night at the Museum, those cavemen. And they'd hit each other in the head, and then the one squirted the other one with the fire extinguisher, and he's eating the foam, and he's got it all over his face. And I'm like, that stuff can cause cancer. That's all right.
In California. Only in California.
Why is that? Why do they say that only in California?
California
state of
has
California.
California has regulations against it. That's
They
why.
have their own, they have, as a state, decided that certain chemicals are cancerous agents that shouldn't be used in California.
So they're trying to just preserve that state.
Yeah, well, each state has its right to do so.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like California emissions, which has been since the 70s, if you ever remember watching The Price is Right. And it would always be the guy who, $4 is California emissions.
Yeah.
And I mean, even in the 70s, I remember that. But that's how the left has gotten through their environmental agendas. And they use California, and then they can go see California did it.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate in California.
That's why it's good to live in Ohio, because you can burn off hydrochloroform carbon, whatever that stuff is,
You can
and it
just dump
doesn't
it
cause
right-
any problems to anybody.
No,
You can just dump it right in the river.
Yeah, you can do that too.
dump it in the river.
Little fishies die a little bit, but we'll be fine.
They'll make more.
That's true.
Do you have any idea how many fish eggs come out of a fish? I mean, that's a ton.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to come back.
They do multiply.
What's been going on with that?
Nothing. It's gone.
Yeah, it's all over.
It's all fine.
It's all fixed up.
Yeah, the people are still complaining that they're having headaches and they can't see straight.
Yeah, but I think they're just whining.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's psychological. There is a certain psychological part to
They're
that.
just looking. They're just looking for a lawsuit now.
Yeah.
Tim Misney really ought to get down there and make them pay.
He should. He should. I mean, there's times where I'll walk in the house and the boys or April have been trying to start a fire and it's smoky in the house. And I'll walk in and psychological, I'm like, I think I'm breathing in stuff I shouldn't be breathing in.
Listen, this is making me angry just because I feel like I should be.
So, in the news this week, I had a gentleman come up to me in the Burton Coffee Shop, and the first thing he said to me was, "Did you hear that the Russians shot down a drone of ours?" Now, the way people describe all this stuff is, I think I heard on the news that 2 Russian MiGs intercepted a drone over the Black Sea in international waters or whatever, and they poured some gas on it first, and then one bumped into the drone and took off a wing, and then the United States had to put it down supposedly in the sea. So do you guys know, like...
I've heard. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
So I really don't know. I've heard both stories.
Yeah. Although I was on my Xbox last night, and I did see some footage.
I heard they released footage showing.
That's what I heard. From the Russians, right?
From the
They
Russians?
shot it down.
I thought it was from the Russian cockpit.
They ran into it.
Oh.
They're trying to claim it was an accident.
Gotcha.
They peed all over it with the gasoline and then accidentally ran into it. Which is pretty funny.
It is.
I mean, if you think about it.
I mean, what were they going to do? Throw a match out the window and light it?
It would be awesome. It would be awesome. I don't know.
Hey, Yolof, watch this.
Poof.
Flick it right out the back window.
Listen. Okay. So then you have Lindsey Graham. He's like a tiny troll warmonger.
Yeah.
And you might as well shot down a flying bus full of children. That's what you would think if you listen to Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta go to war.
Yeah.
I mean, they shot our aircraft.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if there was an American drone flying over my house, I might take a crack at it.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. Come on.
Right.
It's a robot plane. And so that's, a couple of Russian sky jockeys are like you said, hey, look at this. Piss on. All right, hit her with the torch. Poof. That'd be funny.
Well,
but I think they cost $14 million.
really?
Yeah,
That is a lot of money.
that's a lot of money.
That's about 1/16 of what we're sending over to Ukraine, though, right?
Right.
It's not bad.
1/16th. No, it's probably
Yeah.
1/132nd. We can't send them people enough money.
Right.
Please take my wallet.
Which I have. I did hear, though, that because we're sending so much artillery and ammunition over there, that now we have a shortage, which is why when I walk into Walmart and 22 shells for $500 or $67, that's why. Have you heard that?
Well, I've heard that. Yeah, we've run ourselves into the ground.
That's ridiculous.
Well, and I actually heard somebody in an interview. It was on I think it was a Glenn Beck program. He played one of our uppity ups in the State Department, and he said, "We're not gonna need that oil because we're electrifying."
Oh my.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you think we make anything else that you look at?
Right.
It's all oil.
Right.
Oil makes everything.
Yep. Petroleum.
It's either used in the process of, or it is in the item.
Right.
I mean, there's no way around it.
Right. Yeah.
We're electrifying.
Yeah. No matter how much electricity you start pumping through all these vehicles, you're still going to have petroleum to make the vehicle itself.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the headlines that I've been hearing this week. And then so I've heard that we're in what's known as the Cold War. We're in Cold War status right now. Does that sound right?
I don't think. Well, I don't really know. I guess you could technically. I guess I look at America as a country that can't even do that, right? So, you know what's really bad? We're on the flip flop. When there was the Cold War in the '80s with Reagan,
Yeah.
and we essentially bankrupted Russia by cutting them off from the rest of the world. That's what's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
We're going in reverse now. We're the evil empire,
Yeah.
and we're getting fixed to get cut off.
Well, Saudi Arabia and those Muslim countries, they call us the Great Dragon or the
Well, they call us that.
Great
anyway.
Serpent.
They call us that anyway.
Yeah.
They always have.
Yeah. We're probably like the whore of Babylon.
When what was that, Lawrence of Arabia? Whenever that Ian whatever guy, the actor, the gay guy. He was Gandalf.
I don't remember.
He was in a movie called Lawrence of Arabia.
Okay, all right.
Like, even then, they were like, this faggot from the Great Satan.
That's what they said.
Well, I guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, they would. They would use that kind of terminology anyway.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Because they're not kind.
No, and they're waiting to trick you.
Yeah.
Like, they are allowed to trick you because you are an evildoer. It's the truth.
You're an infidel.
Yeah, infidel. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to deceive the infidel.
Right. Well, I also just saw on this is Christianity or Christian Headlines. It's ChristianHeadlines.com, I think. But so you heard the Jerry Falwell Jr. out of Liberty University, how back in the day he had pictures of him hanging out with
Young girls
and
yeah.
drinking and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's how he fell down.
Okay, so he got released from Liberty University, and now it appears that he's suing Liberty, alleging that he is owed $8.5 million in retirement.
Oh, sure.
Like, how? I just don't understand. Christian or non-Christian?
Well, he probably had a contract.
Yeah, he probably did.
Contract's contract.
Yeah, I guess.
Go get him, Falwell.
Yeah, go for it. Because, I mean, I imagine Liberty's bringing in some heavy cash anyway.
I mean, if you, if like that, all this stuff's become a business.
I know.
It's a business. It's not a Christian organization.
But, dude, $8.5 million is not a lot today, but it's still a lot. Like, to you and me, that's a lot of money. But to the world, it's not that much.
Yeah, I probably could live on that for the rest of my
You think
life.
it'd be close?
Listen, my spending's going to increase just because.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to factor in. I would cut that money in half. So I would say it's actually like you got $4 million. Actually, then you got to pay tax on it.
That's true.
So you probably are almost cutting it in half.
Yeah, pretty close.
So never mind. You really only have $4.5 million.
So now you're at $2 million.
So now I'm thinking $2 million because my spending. I don't know.
That's close.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Well,
I've thought about it. I mean, how many times I've spent $1 million in my life? I think it's been a few times by now.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
on
Right.
stuff that I count in debt and everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
I mean,
That's crazy.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's really nuts. Gymnastics. That's $1 million a year by itself.
Wow. That's how they're getting those new mats and stuff.
Is that what it is?
You're paying for all
But
that.
gym still smells like feet.
Well, gym. has
Why
always
can't
gone,
we
yeah.
solve that?
Well, you never wrestled probably, but did you ever go in the wrestling room?
That always smells like butt.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's like a solid butt smell.
Yeah, it was always a bad smell. You got used to it after a while,
You
but
got used to it.
it was pretty
See,
nasty.
this is why I didn't do these sports. You can't get used to butt smell
Yeah, exactly.
or feet smell.
Right.
Hey, I was so thrilled the day my daughter came home and she was like, Dad, I was eating my lunch on the mats and I realized that's where people's feet go. Wow, it only took 5 years. All right.
That's nice. Raising a smart one there.
I'm telling you.
So the bank collapse thing, I'm thinking people should not panic. That nothing wrong with that. And the reason for that is because we can print money and just bail everybody out. It's all okay.
Okay.
It's fine. I wouldn't. I just for everybody, those 115 subscribers. Don't worry.
I'm wondering how many people wake up at this one and go, okay, how many times are we going to do this? Like,
Well,
you did this to us a little over 10 years ago.
yeah.
And now we're going to do it again. What, and every time we get worse and worse regulation. And you told us last time you fixed it.
Right.
But then we come to find out somehow Barney Frank should go commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like, because even though he had the major bill that fixed it last time, he's made a ton of money this time somehow.
Right.
I don't, like, when are people going to wake up? Like, it was, listening to going back this morning, like the right is kind of woke up, and going back to our conversation with Mitch last week. What the left has misunderstood is that the right worships at the feet of their congressmen. We don't. Right. We really don't like a lot of our politicians.
Right.
The left worships at the feet of their Congress people. They will die for Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
She's right.
Yeah.
I know it. You can't make fun of Ocasio-Cortez. She's actually a genius. You know, you don't hear as many people from the left, and if the left would pay attention to what the right was saying, we were like, yeah, our guys have been selling us down the river for about 40 years. Your guys are selling you down the river too. You just haven't realized it yet.
Right.
Like,
Right.
when are we all gonna get to they're all selling us down to the river and unplug the machine to plug it back in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
somehow that's got to happen. Somehow I don't know how, or
I don't either.
I don't know how that gets fixed. But I think the Russians and the Chinese are going to do it to us.
Oh yeah, they'll fix it for us.
And I personally, one of the things that I don't know where Brandon went, because I think he would be the most excited about this.
You think the rapture happened?
That'd be bad.
For us?
Man, we sat here knocking it the whole time. What?
Look, it's just nothing there.
Oh, here, let me turn the camera is there. He's gone.
It's just gone.
He's gone.
If anybody has seen where he went,
You and I sit here
let us know.
and talk about how dumb the rapture is,
Yeah.
and dispensationalism.
Yeah.
And now look at us. We're what's outside? Guillotines.
We're just waiting for us.
Yeah,
That's only if we.
that's in the movie.
That's only if we recant, or if we don't recant.
Oh. Do you think? What if you don't want to be that guy as it's coming down? You're like, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, what happens in that moment?
Well, this is what someone asked me one time. They said, listen, if God forgives everything, would He forgive me if I lied and told them, yeah, I don't believe, just to avoid getting killed? And then I asked God for forgiveness.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't try that.
No, I think. Listen, that's kind of like, did Hitler make it to heaven?
Right.
Sure, he could have.
Yeah.
Yes, on his deathbed, if he confessed. Sure, got it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't try that plan. I wouldn't try and murder all the Jews
No.
and then ask to go to heaven.
That is funny. Brandon, we thought you had been raptured out.
Yeah. We were
Oh,
discussing.
Your vegetables beat me up.
Oh.
So we were talking about, I'm glad you're back.
Those are healthy vegetables, though. Organic, everything.
You must have covered them in liquid butter.
Coconut oil.
Ooh, that might do it.
Yeah, it's slimy.
I don't eat that stuff often, so
Yeah, I gotcha.
Beef fat.
yeah.
Yeah, I should have put some beef in there.
Beef tallow.
Yeah.
All right.
So, we were talking about how we're doing this economic collapse thing again. Is anybody waking up to the fact that we just did this like 12 years ago? Like, it's the same crap, right? Of 08, 09. And I think we're definitely headed for some kind of a reset financially, fiscally, and as a country. And I think the Russians and the Chinese are going to bring that on. But what I am excited about, because we're trading roles with the Cold War. The Russians and the Chinese are going to defeat us this time, where we defeat them last time economically.
Oh.
We basically bankrupted Russia, made them all fall apart into their individual states.
So they're gonna bankrupt us.
Yeah, and then we're going to fall apart into our individual states.
So what's
But
that
what's
mean?
cool, I'm telling you, Ukrainian gun lords, do you know? They were selling nuclear material.
They were?
Yes, individual states and citizens were selling nuclear material. They were selling guns. They were selling rocket launchers.
So each state's its own kind of crime syndicate.
Yeah. They basically fell apart into individual mafias,
Oh wow,
doing crazy. Like, they were free.
Huh.
They could do whatever they wanted
wow.
because it was the Wild West over there for a little bit. So that's coming here.
Could be.
Yeah. So you could be a gun lord, a drug trafficker,
Wow.
moonshine runner. I mean, there'd be a lot of cool things.
Would be Bible thumper.
Yeah, you can be a Bible thumper.
I thought about that.
People love that,
What?
by the way. when you come at them with the Bible,
Yeah, they do.
they love it. Yeah.
I've been trying to think, because everything's subscription now. I'm trying to think of a plan to have a subscription where people read the Bible online, and they pay $5 a day, and the scripture text gets sent to them $5 a month.
Yeah, but YouVersion does it for free.
Yeah, but this one's paid, so it's got to be better. If they pay for it, it's got to be better.
I don't know how you can get much better than you will have great success today. The Lord goes before you.
No, mine will say, "In the day of the Lord will come like a vengeance."
Yeah, people don't want to pay for that.
Seriously?
They're not paying for that. They're not paying for bad news.
Well, it's happening. Once we earn that.
What's going on with that Silicon Valley Bank?
Oh, we're bailing it out, from my understanding. And the reason we're bailing it out is because...
But we weren't gonna, okay? We weren't gonna, but now we are.
Well, yeah, because the president and whatever that group of people are, the think tank that makes these decisions for the banks, decided that they were too big to fail again, just like GM and back, like you said, back in 2000. They're too big to fail, and it would cause a systemic problem. That's what Yellen's saying over there. She's yelling about this.
Yelling.
And she said it would cause a systemic problem within all of the economy, and so they're going to bail them out. What are they? They don't even have anything to bail them out with.
No, we don't even have money. I know that's so.
People are so.
But we don't have $55 billion to give to Ukraine every other month.
No.
And here's the thing: we've run ourselves dry. Someone was making this point I was listening to this week. We've run ourselves dry pumping it over to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine's not winning.
No.
They're not winning. They're losing.
Yeah.
And Russia's just playing a long game.
Yeah.
And so where's all our money going?
I don't know.
Call that a soft opening to the restaurant.
Not that. So what?
It's a soft opening.
Soft opening.
That's what Russia's doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I got another question. I thought the Zelensky guy was supposed to be. He was going to fight with the soldiers right alongside. Instead, he's doing photo ops.
He's like Greta Thunberg, but his name's Zelensky.
I mean, when this thing first comes out, like when they first started this, I was under the impression, like, this was my first impression. This guy is the kind of guy you want on your team because he's the leader, but he's going to go and fight alongside these guys the way he was talking. And now, like, you just know that was all fake, that was all put on. And now he's just photo-opping and making claims and wanting us to send our children over there, our young kids, to die in that
What's his
war.
name?
Zelensky. Not to mention he was an actor, but of course we have actors too. Ronald Reagan was an actor, and Trump was a billionaire actor, so it's not like they don't put him in there.
What's his full name?
I think
Greta Thunberg Zelensky.
Is it really?
No, it should be.
Just put Ukraine Zelensky, and you'll find him. Just real quick, though, I wanted to share the scripture text. Maybe we can go into depth with it. And then maybe Brandon, if he wants to share, he can. But he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. About some things that maybe God revealed to him. But when you take on the whole Russian thing and Ukraine and the fact that California now was in a drought, now they're flooding all over the place. And it's possible that, 80% of the vegetable production that goes out into the world may now be in jeopardy because they can't get anything planted this spring because of the floods. Anyway, long story short, Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 6. For this reason I say to you, do not be worried about your life as to what you will eat or what you will drink, nor for your body as to what you will put on. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air, that they do not sow, nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they? And who of you, being worried, can add a single hour to his life? And why are you worried about clothing? Observe how the lilies of the field grow. They do not toil, nor do they spin. Yet I say to you that not even Solomon in all of his glory clothed himself like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? Do not worry then, saying, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear for clothing? For the Gentiles eagerly seek all these things. For your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will care for itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I think that sums it up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about nothing.
It's life verse.
Can we play that reggae song? Don't worry.
Be happy?
Yeah.
No.
That's not a good song.
On a side note, why was Russia in Ukraine? I was reading some stuff about the sex trafficking stuff over there.
No, that's not why. There's no sex trafficking over there. Don't worry about that. It's just conspiracy.
Oh, conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and there's none in the United States either, especially during the Super
Wait,
Bowl.
why was Russia in Ukraine?
Right.
So Russia wants to put the band back together,
Soviet
Right.
Union.
the Soviet Union. And why do they want to?
Which is the SSR.
USSR.
USSR.
The United Social
U.S.
of Russia. But if you listen to Putin, it sounds good, unless you follow it to its most extreme parts. Which I get this education from Glenn Beck University, but listen, I don't have a problem. I'm at least being forward with what I know and where I find it out from. But there's that guy that is Putin's philosopher, life guide coach.
I can see his face. I don't remember.
I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Dugan.
Yeah.
Dugan.
Dragov Dugan.
Yeah, so he's like a scholar over there, historian, scholar, philosopher. Okay, and his history, philosophy, scholastic, whatever, is to push past the modern world and defeat it, so that the Russian Empire is on top. It's the boss, and that happens to be very conservative in a lot of ways. Like Putin, the reason this is going crazy and Putin wants Ukraine and to get the band back together with the countries over there is because he doesn't want the New World Order. He doesn't want, environmentalism. He doesn't want the gays. He doesn't want the transes. He doesn't like we're Western. He doesn't want really all of the artificial intelligence and computer technologies that we're doing.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's right. And so if you listen, that you can very easily be manipulated to go, well, this Putin is kind of making a lot of sense. But if that were his end goal, would be okay. But his end goal really is that Russia is the supreme leader of the world and heads back to some form of Marxism, communism,
Right.
plantation life, utopia type stuff.
It's all bad.
It ends up badly. Yeah. Which we didn't get to talk about a lot of stuff last week because Mitch was here. But the week prior, my dad had sent me some videos of this guy who broke down communism as a you were using it this week in your message, worldview, the communist worldview. And the communist worldview is sans God. There's no, God needs to be out of it. There's like 4 pillars of communism which make it, it's satanic.
Okay.
And it really ends up because Marx was a lazy goofball who didn't want to bow down to a god and wanted this. It becomes the religion of man. You worship man,
Yeah.
mankind. But he also was this is where the Putin part and the Dugan part come in. Very conservative in that, like, he didn't like a lot of worldly baloney either. It's very simple. You work, and I get to reap your rewards because I'm smarter than you, and I'm your boss.
Gotcha.
And that's most of the people. And as long as you listen to me, we'll get to this place where we realize that we don't need God. You just need me to be your boss.
Yeah.
And everything will be great.
Yeah.
And that's the big idea. And he went on. Actually, the socialism angle is like a soft entrance into communism and Marxism. Like even like the Norwegians and the don't know you. Other countries that are practice socialism.
Right.
It works because you're allowed to maintain your religious status.
Right.
You're with a group of people who are mostly like-minded.
Right.
Like with America, where we have a lot of diversity
Yeah.
and a lot of different cultures and a lot of different religions, you couldn't have a Finland system work here.
Right.
So,
And you'd have too much pushback, right?
right, and everybody with their different ideas.
Yeah.
So basically, that's why those socialist countries kind of work.
Yeah.
So that gets rid of your Bernie argument.
Right.
But everybody ultimately ends up in a communist, Marxist world where we look up to the guy that takes care of us.
Yeah. Well, I was watching a documentary probably 15 years ago, and they were talking about how Vladimir Putin and Russia, one of the key ideologies of the Russian government was that we make people just happy enough. We give them just enough stuff so that they're happy, so that they don't rebel, and they do exactly what we ask them to do or what we want them to do.
Right, that's the thing is to give somebody. And if you look at, have you heard of 15-minute cities? That was another thing that's becoming a big deal. Cleveland wants to be the premier city of the 15-minute cities.
So what is this?
Everybody will live in the city, and everything in that city, you can move to the different parts of that city that suit you best, but theoretically, the things that you want and like to do in life are 15 minutes from you. So grocery store is not more than 15 minutes. Entertainment that you like is not more than 15 minutes. But you don't need to leave.
Yeah.
There's no reason to leave.
There is a attraction to that though, because April and I, like when we went out to visit Doug and Stace out in Missouri, when they were at I can't remember Wyethville, maybe. Does that sound right?
No.
I can't. Anyway, out in Missouri, wherever they were living, like literally, they had everything at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And it was so like when we were there, we were like, man, this would be really nice.
Yeah.
Because when you live out in the boonies or whatever, you got to drive different places and.
But listen,
hour.
I mean, just
I like
think.
that.
Just think about the principle of
No,
it.
I get it, but it's attractive to people.
If we go back to the garden,
Right.
and God banished them from the garden, what did he tell Adam?
You're going to work on the sweat of your brow to eat bread. Yep.
And you're going to work in the thorns and the thistles, and
Yep.
like life is not going to be comfortable.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And what is the world now telling us we can have?
I know.
Everything is right here, baby.
I know.
Just live here.
It's the garden.
Yeah. You're just going to have to, if you just take that chip in your arm, you walk right in and everything's paid for, baby.
So you just talked about the 15-minute city. What are these Trump cities supposedly? What the free cities or something like
This
that?
is where my dad. So I was trumpeting,
Yeah.
And my dad's like, "Well, I'm not very happy with Trump. He wants these 15-minute series."
So these are the 15-minute cities that he's talking about?
Yeah, he thinks these are a good idea.
So these are all the same.
But listen. Trump at heart is a Fabian socialist.
Right.
Okay. So I keep him at arm's length, and I'm waiting. I don't know that a full Christianic conversion has come to Trump's life, but he could also just be an opportunist.
Yeah.
He's from the city.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, he sees the benefit in having something like this. He knows that life.
Yeah.
And he is a developer.
Right.
So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is in the global, like he could be in the global New World Order. Who knows?
Right.
But everything else indicates that he's not. He could just be like, well, yeah, it's a great idea, except I'm going to build it.
Yeah. Right.
Aren't those other cities in China where they're all those people?
Yeah, the
living
fake cities.
No, they're like 6x6 cubicles, thousands of people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are those
That's
called?
well, they
And it's
work.
just-
They work there.
yeah, what is that?
Sweatshop.
Basically.
I don't know what their official. I don't know what they officially call it, but I've seen it.
That's
Like
a thing.
Like when, so if you talk to even like the place that makes the machine that I sell, those people, they live there. Like they don't leave.
Matt's making money off those poor people in those 6x6 cubicles.
Well, at least for now.
Yeah. Well, this is. Go ahead. Finish your story, and I'll tell you something.
So, like when you ask, well, where do you go? What do you do? You're like, they're like, well, I live here. And what do you eat? Well, they provide my food. And then what do you do? Well, then I just go back to work.
Yep.
That's literally what they do.
I think that's Egypt.
Robots.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Robots.
That's Egypt. They need an exodus, is what they need.
They need an exodus? Yeah, but they have to be called out by God first.
They could. All they got to do is accept Christ. They could be called out from that. This could be a great revival. I say we start televising it.
All right, what were you laughing at? What did you,
No, speaking of like selling stuff, Nathan, he came back from El Salvador this week.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 2 wristbands on. And I said, what are those wristbands? Where'd you get them? And they're really not. They're like made out of wood. It looks like they're handmade or whatever. And he said, I got them from some guys on the street. And he's like, they wanted $9. He goes, I got them for $6. And Brian goes, you literally like took them down in cost when you know those people are poor over there. And it's like, hey, he goes, if it's $6 and they wanted $9 and I got it for $6, he goes, I don't feel bad about it.
Here's the thing. Those guys were laughing
Because it was only
because they made it for pennies.
I know.
And they got $6 from Nathan. A piece.
Yeah.
They're still out on top.
Yeah, they're still winning.
Yeah.
They're just trying to find themselves not in a prison camp full of
Right.
tattooed fellas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of weird things going on in our world right now.
A lot.
And I think that we should just enjoy what we have while we have it, because it's coming here too.
Be blessed. Yeah.
Enjoy life. I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but you know how we told you your grandmother went from the Great Depression into America the wealthy? You're going the other way.
Yeah. That's what's sad. Our kids don't have a lot of opportunistic type of mentality. Like they don't see it as
But they have everything. That's
they
why.
do. I know.
They have everything.
I know. And we were told that if they had everything, then that would give them greater
No.
opportunity.
No.
You know.
No. Spoil the runs.
That's like, Matt, what you were talking about. Like if you had a robot so that you could be creative, you wouldn't be creative.
Maybe not. Maybe I just sit around in my PJs all day and drink and watch Montel Williams.
Oh, that's still on?
Well, no, I'll watch the reruns.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Maury Povich.
He was
Lord Povich.
he was
You are not the father.
Yep.
he was a good-looking brother. Montel.
Montel. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's 11 o'clock already. No, it's not. What time is it?
11.
It's 11.
Yeah, it is. It's 11.
It's 11.
My watch is way off. Mine says 9:45. What the hell?
I do know, so the establishment...
Must have said it after you hit the glass pipe.
Did you go an hour the wrong way?
No, I think you know what's been happening.
Did you set it for a half an hour?
No, I think what's been happening is I'll have this on when I go out to feed the chickens, and I put on like a glove sometimes just because I don't want to get my hand dirty coming back in the house. So I put on a glove, and then I just rip the glove off, so then when I come in, I don't have to worry about my hand being all over chicken poo and stuff. And it gets caught underneath there, and I'll bet it, like, pulls that out and messes with it.
The watch thing, sometimes I get hooked on these YouTube shorts. I know you don't like the shorts.
Yeah.
But I scroll, and there's this dude with these Rolex or these high-end whatever. The watch thing is huge.
Meaning selling them, like people buying?
Especially like high-end watches. People are dropping 20, 30 grand a piece on
Wow.
a watch.
They probably don't even wear them.
Well, because money's toilet paper, and at least with
crazy.
a watch you have an article.
That's true. This is just a
And like those
$100 fossil watch.
those higher-end watches actually hold their value.
Yeah, I mean, a good watch is
It's crazy.
a good watch.
Yeah. Fossil used to be pretty good. They're pretty chintzy now, Fossil watches. Like if you go in the store and try to grab one, they might be $100, but they're junk now.
Buying a Amatron.
What's
Walmart.
Oh yeah,
Timex.
Timex. Yeah.
Timex. I used to buy the calculator watch.
I was actually just thinking about that one. Little square.
Yeah. I used to buy those.
Did you use it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
I was gonna say, how did you push the little buttons?
They were
With my
little.
finger.
Dude, did you see the size of your finger?
Is it that big? It ain't that big.
Those buttons are the size of a pinhead.
Beep, boop, beep.
They are pretty small.
Well, I know my dad used to have a watch all the time, and so that's where I think I got in the habit of wearing watches. And your dad, I think, has my dad's watch. I think he got it when my dad
think so.
passed. I think. And that was a wind-up watch. So every morning I would see my dad.
Wind his watch up.
He'd wind his watch up, and it was just like
I
a
think
ritual.
that watch is actually sitting in my safe.
Really,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
that's worth like $4.6 probably.
T-rillion.
Huh?
T-rillion
T-Rillion.
dollars.
T-Rillion. I don't even know what. Do you know what brand it is?
I don't. I'll bring it in next.
Dude, I used to have I paid a lot of money. Back in the day when I was in high school, I paid like $180 for this Bulova watch, and I gave it to Josh.
Yeah,
That was a nice watch.
I remember that one.
That thing was heavy.
You put it together with the little clip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was a
remember
nice watch.
It was
And
like
when
silver and goldish.
Yeah, and when he died, I don't know whatever happened to it. Maybe the girls have it, which is fine if the girls have it. I don't have any idea what happened to it.
I remember that watch. I can picture it in my head.
But dude, when I gave Josh that watch, I mean, I was like, this is a good watch, dude. And he wore it all the time. And I remember the first time he put it on, it like went down to his elbow.
Yeah, 'cause he had skinny arms.
But it was a nice watch.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing literally, this left arm would be bigger than your right arm from wearing it because it was so heavy.
So heavy.
It was a nice watch.
Yeah, it was nice.
I think the dial twisted too,
I
didn't
think
it?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was sweet. Never find that again.
Never coming back.
Nope. So don't forget Matthew chapter 6, because in the times that we're living in, man, seeking first the kingdom and his righteousness, that's all you got that means anything.
Oh, did you watch the Okay, so to tie all this together, that I wanted to talk about last week.
Okay.
I know we're way over, but the Jesus-haired guy on the End Time Productions,
Yeah.
who sits there and talks about his book all the time.
Okay.
Did you watch that video this
No,
week?
not yet, no.
You got to watch that one.
Is it the newest, like
yeah,
the latest
it's
one?
one of the latest ones.
Okay.
He just did a thing. It's like 45 minutes.
Okay.
And he goes on about how the calculation of the age is 2160. So we are headed for all those things. And all the things are in making sense in the mush of the matter, but it's not now. We're just at the foothills.
I gotcha.
We're just starting the uphill climb. It's going to get really bad for us first.
Right.
And it's got to get really bad like the days of Noah.
Yeah.
And he said if you just go on the calculation of the time frame, take 4 years BC where we think Christ was born in 2160, he goes, that's, we got another 100 years yet.
Are we talking like Fallout bad?
We're talking Mad Max.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
Yeah. No, I think, but listen, I think
dogs.
we're just going to,
Holding a double barrel shotgun at the dude in the car.
I think it gets that bad. But I think that's our kids.
Oh, we don't get to partake in that?
No, I think we're dead. I think we're going to see some bad stuff, and we can still make bad decisions and get sucked in by the world.
Can we still build the vehicles?
And we should.
Those vehicles are sweet.
We need to teach our kids how to build these vehicles.
We should have a Mad Max night at the church.
That'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You want to get men together? Let's do stuff like that. What's up with all this Bible study stuff?
Yeah.
You can incorporate Bible stuff in there.
You know what?
I agree.
Instead of putting parking lot back here on this back edge where we put the rocks.
Yeah.
Shooting range.
No.
Car
Listen,
lifts.
listen. Yes. 6-bay garage.
6-bay garage.
6-bay garage
With car lifts in them.
with car lifts.
And a dyno.
And we can do single moms breaks if we want,
I guess.
just to be nice.
You can work on that outside.
Because you got to.
We're doing men's work inside.
I know, but you got to figure out a way to get people to go. Oh, I'll pay for that because it's going to be ministry. See how you do that?
Listen, won't people see the importance of us building Mad Max cars?
Possibly.
We all need to start smoking cigars.
We'll see if I'll see if I can get that okayed.
should be able to.
Yeah. If nothing else, we can get incense that have the cherry smell, so it's floating around, or the blackberry smell, whatever that smell is.
Brian, you know this. Nothing as good as the real thing.
No, it's true. I got this here vapor stick, and it's not as good as the real
Yeah.
thing.
How's that going? You've been vaping okay? Like,
Yeah, I haven't smoked cigarettes in a long time.
Good.
Yeah.
You feeling any better?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Way better.
I do miss first pull of a brand new cigarette.
Smoking a cigarette is
Really?
It's fun.
Yeah.
See, I
miss
never got into that. Like, it just never.
a big old chaw wintergreen.
See, I never got into that either.
It's the best.
Yeah, I never got into the chewing. I just like the mechanics of smoking. It kills time. It's a good thing for talking.
Trying to work and
Really?
smokes in your face and you're
But how can that be? Like, I see people out in their porch in the freezing cold smoking a cigarette. Obviously, because they either can't smoke inside or they don't want to smoke inside. Like, why go out and stand in the freezing cold just to smoke a cigarette?
you don't want
know.
your house stinking.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't want your house to stink. I don't understand that. That's what we smoke in our garage.
Gotcha.
I don't get it.
Gotcha. But now you vape.
But now we
There you
vape. Yeah.
How's the freeze dry stuff going? Am I allowed to ask online on air?
Yeah, we're doing it. Like
Okay.
today, we're doing some stew, and
Good.
she made some kind of like apple dessert out of keto flour. We're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring some eggs over and I mean, not right today or anything, but
Yeah.
I want to bring some eggs over and I want to try the tofu, but I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Just because when I freeze the tofu itself,
Yeah.
it becomes really waterlogged. But this is going to be dried,
Right.
and then I'm gonna rehydrate it.
Right.
So hopefully it would be different.
Just, I think we need to cut it into slices.
Okay.
I think that you need to do it. To do it as a whole loaf.
Yeah.
Like I've seen they come in a big block.
Yep.
That's not gonna work.
Okay.
I don't think. I think we're gonna you gotta slice it.
Okay.
Yep. Let's try it.
All right. And then what else was I going to?
Because I mean, seriously, I don't know. I don't know how you look at our economy and not go, we're gonna end up like the USSR. Like,
Oh yeah.
People start shooting each other and
yeah, and well, I mean, you're not gonna be able to get things at grocery stores. You're not gonna,
Yeah.
or you will be. You will be able to get things at grocery stores, but it's what's available.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not like thinking I'm gonna feed myself.
Right.
You know, when no one, if no one else is eating, I'm a dead man,
Right.
because that's when the skull eating happens.
Uh-huh.
But I think that we're definitely headed for a time where 1 week you'll be able to get butter, but you won't get butter for 4 more weeks.
Right.
1 week you'll be able to get eggs, but you're not going to see eggs for 4 more weeks.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. And so if you can store stuff to help make that along.
Right. Well, I was just looking on a website here. It was I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can find it. But California, with all this flooding that's happening, I mean, it's a huge percentage of the world's agricultural base.
Yeah.
That they're saying because of the floods, they may not be able to get that planted. And if they don't get it planted, obviously that means not this year probably, but the following year, they're not going to have any food. Like, they're not going to have wheat to make bread, all that stuff.
I know that's what they keep saying.
And
but
same thing with Ukraine, but Ukraine's only 5% of the world's wheat, I think. 5 or 10% of the world's wheat.
I mean, it's a big chunk.
It is.
Yeah, but yeah.
So you got all these different places not being able to produce wheat. Like you said, you're going to walk in and there's not going to be bread on the, on the
Right.
shelf.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna. But like, this is why people don't want us out here in the sticks. And who was I talking to? Oh, my cousins. They're in the septic business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin Jimmy just goes, He goes, I just don't understand these. Some of these counties, they're basically telling you like, piss off because we can't do nothing with you to like help you get your septic fixed.
Oh,
And I said, Jimmy, it's because they don't want you to live here.
yeah.
And he goes, well, if you think about it in that term, then what they're saying and doing makes total sense.
Yeah.
And it's just like if your house gets destroyed on the Gulf, they're not allowing you to rebuild until so many miles in. So you just took everybody's, like what they would have attained as wealth, which would be living on the coast,
Right.
right? That that right there brings you a premium property,
Yeah.
and said, nope, can't build there no more. You just stole all their wealth,
Yeah.
made them move inland,
Right.
and changed how things are, and that your eco terraforming, you're becoming God.
Right.
And that's what these counties are doing. They're going, well, sorry, I just guess you can't live there no more.
Yeah. Right.
You need to move into a 15-minute city. Mm-hmm. This is what people need to be aware of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's going to come slow. That's the other thing with this. The end times aren't coming for another 160 years.
Right.
We're going to be drugged there slowly.
Yeah.
And if we're drugged there slowly, that's when even the elect would be deceived if it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's just one little piece at a time.
Well,
We can move to the city. I mean, life's more comfortable there.
Right.
Well, you're right. I don't want to leave. It is nice.
Right.
Yeah, but they want us to get this chip to stay here.
Right. Well, let me throw one more wrench into the equation, and that is at the end of the book of Judges. So let me just go to the last verse of the book of Judges. See how long it'll take me to scroll that far.
Scroll.
But there was. Hold on. I don't know if I'm going to find it now.
You can't find the last.
Well, I'm scrolling, and it's taking me forever. Here we go. We're at the end now. We should be at the end. 19. Would you look at that? Would you look at it? Just look at it. Okay. How, there we go. All right. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. So we're getting to this point where each succeeding generation is knowing less and less about God and about Christ, that eventually you're going to have this anarchy of everybody doing what's right. But then on top of that, you're going to have a worldwide man-made system that allows them to believe that what they're doing is okay.
Is okay.
And so they're all doing what they
We're
want
kind of
to.
right there.
We're close. We're close.
I mean, you can see the workings of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because if the world okays it, and even if the religious establishment okays it, and there's nobody screaming that Jesus says this stuff's not right, eventually each generation, you get to the point where that generation forgets about who God really is.
Let's go back to last week. I had 2 people contact me and go, why didn't you and Brian say this? Why didn't you and Brian say that? Well, what marriage really is, God says marriage, and God made marriage, and and I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, we could hammer him with that, but it doesn't mean nothing to him. Mm-mm. It doesn't.
No.
So you're right. We probably should, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And that's 2 people of the same generation prior to us
Right.
that are like, whoa, what are you guys doing?
Well, here's the other thing too. Did nobody hear when I said that there is a moral? Because we were asked the question, "What do you mean by moral?" And I said, "Well, God created man, male and female.
Right.
He created mankind, male and female, and He created them to be one flesh together. That was not only God's plan, but it was natural order. So we did say that.
I think we did too.
But they don't hear it,
No.
and they're not going because they want to do what's right in their own eyes.
Yeah. Well, they want to. Instead, I'm afraid. Instead of winning a soul, they want to see a defeat.
Okay,
They want us to trounce him.
gotcha.
Like, that never comes.
No,
That never comes.
no,
You never, there's no victory.
right.
I haven't seen it.
Right. Well, think about like the prophets. Jesus.
How many, yeah, like how many times, outside of, I'm trying to think of like, when, what's his name went to Nineveh,
Right.
and he's like, you guys are dirty scoundrels. And they're like, oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
But that was God
Yep.
working.
Yep.
Like on an individual basis, you don't see this.
No.
And I feel like there's no way he hasn't heard the truth.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we could sit here and give you all of the punch card answers
Right.
of yes, a man and a woman, and we all know this.
Right. Yep.
I prefer to go where we were discussing. I'm like, why is the government even involved in our marriage?
Right.
I mean, really, that's a question there all by itself.
Yep. Which comes back to the moral question, because the church is the one supposed to be
In charge of the marriage.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally. And the other thing is too, like, I love Mitch to death.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I don't want to defeat him.
Right.
I want to see him saved and come to Christ.
Yeah.
Just like I want to see anybody else. So what you said is exactly true. I don't care if I win.
Right.
I just want the truth to be made known. But
Right.
Regardless of who it is, it'd be hard to turn your whole household upside down. And
yeah, you made that comment yesterday. You want to elaborate on that? Because that.
yeah,
I mean, think about this. This is true.
like if you're gay
Yep.
and you have a significant,
You have this life built.
yeah, you have this life built. It'd be hard to be like, hey, so and so, I need you to move out because I'm a Christian now. Blah,
No,
blah, blah.
no. Listen, there. Yes, that
it's
is
hard
how
to-
this works.
That's hard to rip your home in half, I would think.
That's why Jesus said, if you don't hate your father and your mother and your son and daughter, follow me, then you're not worthy of the kingdom. That's for all of us. Like, you have to hate your sin enough to walk away from it.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to, which was not easy, but when I decided to become a Christian, I had that pull to want to continue my old lifestyle. Now, granted, I wasn't married and had kids and all that stuff, but there were things that kept pulling me back, that wanted me to come back. And they did pull on me, and I did flirt, and I did play around, but eventually I had to say no. Mm-hmm. You know, but once you've built that life, that does have to be tough. Very hard. Like a man and a woman who are married, like all of a sudden they come to know Christ, and now all of a sudden their life just seems to get better almost because they're together in this and they're running. But if you got a wife who comes to know Christ and her husband doesn't, well, she's in a really tough bind now. And yet Paul tells her to stay in that situation with that unbelieving husband because you might win him as long as he's willing to live with you at peace.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. If a husband does it and the woman, you can live in that situation. But, of course, you're not living in sin, whereas two guys or two women, now they got to literally change everything. And I get that, but at the same time, you can't not leave sin. You have to leave sin behind if you're going to follow Christ. There's no way around it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there's
It's hard. When you're-
there's an investment of time there, and relationship and the whole thing.
yeah, home built. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is
But
the
it's
thing.
only huge here.
Right. And I wish, like, for instance, like, I would consider you guys good friends. Obviously, we don't live together. We don't get up and brush our teeth in the morning in the same bathroom, all that kind of good stuff. But what if people who are living that lifestyle could see that it's okay for me to be a really good friend with this guy? Like, I could walk away from that and still be a good friend. I just can't live in a sinful relationship now.
Yeah.
But a guy couldn't do that with a woman. Like, if I used to have a really good girlfriend that my wife didn't know about, well, I can't continue to be good friends with her, right? So this is difficult stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't say, honey, I'm still going to go out for drinks with this girl, but, I'm not going to do the sin part. Well,
Right. Most of it.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes.
So, yeah. So this is tough stuff. It's
So we got a few things here. We got David. How do we apply Matthew 6:26 through 34? And then real quick, I have to say hi to my Uncle Lenny. He's watching for the first time today.
Nice.
And then,
Make sure you subscribe, Lenny.
yeah, we can get 116 out of it. How do we apply Matthew 26 through 34? And then he follows up with Judges 21:25 is a conviction upon kingless Israel.
It is. But Israel chose not to have a king because they rebelled against God. So anytime a nation rebels against God,
Wait, I thought they wanted a king.
they did.
Then they changed their mind?
That was after Judges, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Samuel comes on the scene. Samuel's the last prophet and judge, and then in Samuel's time as judge and prophet, then Israel asks for a king. So yeah, they were under the prophets and the judges. Well, technically, they were under the judges who were ruling and reigning them. But because there was no king in Israel, so I think the ultimate application of Judges 21 and 25 is that any nation that chooses to rebel against the true God and doesn't want him as king will find out that they will be a nation that will do what's right in their own eyes.
Yeah.
That's across the board application to that. The Matthew scripture application-wise is that as a whole, we live, we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to have clothing. The disciples said, I have food, shelter, and clothing. With that, I am content. So I think ultimately it comes down to where individuals draw the line and say, I have enough. I have enough.
Yeah, it has be content with what you have.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I literally say this scripture to myself a lot because if I find myself like stirring about a pickup truck or wanting something that I don't have laying around,
Like from Summit.
Yeah.
or a guitar store, I wander around my house and go, okay, I have enough.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna get it anyway.
But I'm probably still gonna get it anyway.
I bought that Bosch laser
You did?
on Amazon. It was $64.
That's the best thing I ever bought.
It's
in my
30.
life.
It only goes 30 feet, but
Mine's the 50.
yeah, I know.
And yours do the.
all four all the way around.
Wait,
you.
take that back. Take it back. How much was it?
$64.
Take it back.
Why?
I'll show you the one I got on Amazon.
Is it a Bosch?
It does 100. It does 100 feet, and you can also do, if you want to do a dipstick, you can buy a dipstick and shoot elevation.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
How much was that one?
I think I put the whole thing together for a couple $100.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And it does a vertical, and it's self-leveling, so you get your and you
Is
get
yours self-leveling?
Yeah, I do it myself. I don't know what you mean
No,
by
you
self-leveling.
put this on a stand.
Yeah, you can.
And it goes.
Yeah.
And it gets level.
Yeah, I can do that. The other application to Matthew is this. Matthew 6:33. Seek first his kingdom and all of his righteousness. So at the end of the day, if we are a people who are seeking first his kingdom, which is his rule and reign in our lives and in the world, that's what kingdom means. Somebody's got to be a ruler, and it's got to be God, or else it's not going to work. So seek first his kingdom and all of his righteousness, live right. Then you don't, whatever you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's what we used to tell the boys. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. So whatever happens, and you're just content with that because you're seeking the kingdom, and you know that you are in the best possible place you can be. That's my application for that. And verse 33 is like a hallmark verse for me because if I'm not seeking the kingdom, his rule and reign in my life first and foremost, then I'm going to be in love with all this other stuff constantly. That's just how I apply it.
I do have one other loose end too. I was thinking about the conversation I was having with the two gentlemen this week, and a redeemable quality of the ministry of Joel Osteen.
Okay.
He was like, he does teach, don't be a victim. Like,
Be a victor.
Be a victor.
Yeah.
Don't be a victim. And so what that means is stop running around getting offended all the time. Mm-hmm. Be a solution or an answer and find an answer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's biblical.
Yeah.
Don't be easily offended.
Right.
And that is what we seem to do when we're just not happy with what we're getting.
Yeah. Not only that, but we're so self-absorbed sometimes that it's really easy when someone tweaks us a little bit.
Yeah.
That we get offended.
Right.
We got to stop thinking so highly of ourselves.
Right.
That's Philippians chapter 2.
Yep. All right.
I think we're probably...
We smoked these ideas. Are we all done?
Did we fix everybody's problems on the comments and stuff?
Well, nobody's commented anything else. I think we did a good job.
All right.
I'm willing to break my arm, pat myself on the back.
All right. We'll see if we get to 116 here this week.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Oh, can we do one more thing real quick before we get off?
yeah.
All right, so Brandon talked about having this lady on from Pro. What's it called?
New Pro.
New Pro.
I didn't
And-
ask her yet. She
okay.
actually texted me this morning.
Okay, so if we have her on, and say for instance we start getting.
What are we gonna do with this?
All right, I don't know, but it's gonna be cool. So say we
She's
start having.
actually pretty well put together Christian.
So, we'll probably talk about the New Pro stuff a little bit, but we want to talk about our Christian experience really more than anything. And then
Can we talk about how they ruin other dog foods so that our animals die?
We could. She might have a
Will she have a takedown on big dog food?
big pharma dog food.
Big pharma dog food?
She might. All right, so if we do that, and then she becomes like she doesn't even have to be a sponsor necessarily, but we could like those little spots that Beck and them do where they put the website at the bottom and they do a little shot for it. Like, well,
Listen,
Brandon,
I don't have any animals, but if
Right.
I did, I would feed them this food
New Pro,
because they are against big dog food.
yeah.
Yeah.
And well, Brandon actually could because he feeds his dog that stuff, right?
I do.
Oh,
So he could actually be a believer.
he could, yeah.
Well, I am a believer in it because
Oh,
I want to talk to you about something today. Do you love your pet? If you do,
this is gonna be great.
if you love them as much as I do.
So we do that, but I think we should do others, right? And then we get on that Patreon thing and people subscribe. Now think about this. I was thinking about this today.
And
are you
she'll be-
strategizing online out in front of everybody?
and
Oh,
her,
yeah.
And her business will blow up
Her business will blow up.
even more than it is.
Yeah,
From our 115
right.
pet hoarding subscribers.
Just think about this, gentlemen. If 115 subscribers that we have, if they subscribe, and they for just $5 a month, that's 500.
I will remember.
That's $570 a
Little
month.
sad dog.
You know what? That's a new camera every month. If you think about it,
True.
or we could feed someone.
This is a sad puppy face with Sarah McLachlan
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah. All I know is I have fun talking about the scriptures and talking about daily events. And if other people like to hang out and listen and comment, then that's great. And if not, I guess, we get the word out, even if it's just in small chunks.
All right, everybody be careful in your St. Patrick's Day shenanigans.
Yes. Don't drink anything green
Why not?
because it's probably moldy.
No, they just put food coloring in it.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
you drink a green beer.
Don't smoke anything in a pipe.
Don't smoke anything. Yeah, definitely don't do that. And don't eat anything that grows in the ground.
Or
In a
cow poop.
cow poop.
What?
Mushrooms.
Actually, we had those today.
Yeah, not the psychedelic ones.
Oh.
Gotcha. All right. We'll see you next week. Well, Brian won't, but we may come to you.
Okay.
Maybe.
Hey. No, I can't do that. I was going to say maybe I could FaceTime in.
We'll phone time you.
Maybe
Where are
I'll
you
send-
going?
I'm gonna sub for the Bible teacher.
You know, every week you're gone, I start the rumor that you're looking at another church, right?
Do it, yeah,
That's what I do.
yeah. Well, you just said doo-doo, by the way.
I did do.
But just so everybody knows that might be what I'm doing.
Perfect. On that, we're out. Go ahead. You finish out your thought.
Well, we got an error report.